Okay, is that better? Is that working? Why does my face look so greasy? Ooh, man, that's that's fun. Being on camera in HD is fun. All right, let's see if we can get the folks back. Appreciate y'all hanging in there. If anybody was on before, hopefully you come back. YouTube said it was having connectivity issues, so I don't know what the dealio is, but anyways, I'm back. I this camera is bothering me though because it looks like this is off kilter, but it's not. That looks straighter. All right, welcome to the live identity crisis. Not really. That was just a little clickbaity, but I wanted to jump on here and give whoever cares a little rundown of what's going on in Andy's world. So the first matter at hand is I'm going to go ahead and crack this beer because it's been sitting out for about 10 minutes. And I want to drink it while it's cold. So cheers. It is Friday, May 17th at 5:17, and the world is about to change as we know it, at least in the world of Tanglefoot or in the world of me. Cheers, Vince. What's up, Margot and Nolan? Good to see y'all in here. So for those of you who are on here, you're all the people in here, I know. But this channel, I changed the name of the YouTube channel to Tanglefoot a few months ago and kind of put out a video kind of discussing why I did that, and then didn't really post anything else. And then did a video a couple of nights ago about me making a burger, which was the first video that I've uploaded on the channel that was like not in line with beer stuff. And that was a super big scary thing for me. It wasn't really scary, but it was really just like anxiety driven because like I built this whole channel on beer and stuff. And so I wanted to get on here and talk about what's going on in my life and what's coming forward in the future with Tanglefoot, the channel, with Andy, me, the person. So the short of it is, well, let's start with a little life update. So I closed the brewery back in June of 24. And since then, it's been almost a year since it's closed. Lots of stuff has happened. I did a collaboration beer and I posted a few videos on here. But nearing the end of last year, a lot of stuff was going on. The beginning of this year was a little crappy, so just not feeling great. And then ended up just not posting content for a while. But in that time period, I personally have been like working on myself, trying to just better my life, which is, seems pretty obvious. Everybody's trying to better their life. But I've been doing some consulting work, so I'm still roughly in the beer space. Been doing some brewery consulting, was working with a company here in Austin doing draft installation, and we had a contract with QT gas stations. So I was working in gas stations for several months, which I'll talk about that in some upcoming videos because there were some interesting things that happened there. And then last October, I started getting back into shape for the first time in a long time. So I was an athlete, and all throughout my childhood and high school. And then the second that I got out of high school, I was like, I'm never lifting weights again. And I really did not until last October. So I got a gym membership, started working out and getting in shape, and then started eating healthier, started cutting back on the drinking, but I still do drink, just not quite as much as I used to. And so there's a lot of stuff that has been positive in my life. But one thing that's been this like kind of lingering unease has been not like engaging with content and posting stuff basically. And that sounds kind of strange for like people that maybe don't do content or aren't interested in content, but I really like doing this, and it was really difficult for me to kind of shut the brewery down and then have so much of my identity tied up in beer. And so I didn't post, and I didn't want to like post a bunch of stuff that people that watch this channel didn't care about. And so I didn't. And that's really been kind of like a weight that's been sitting on my shoulders. And finally, about a month ago, or maybe like a couple of weeks ago, I kind of just said, fuck it, and was like, dude, I need to do this for me more than anything. So I made a decision to really pursue content for the first time with the theme being my interests and things that I want to talk about and learn about and share information about. So moving forward on this channel specifically, I'm going to be covering all kinds of stuff that I'm interested in. I dropped that burger cooking video. I love to cook. I cook all the time, so I'll probably be doing a lot of stuff like that, and then showcasing all the other things that I'm interested in, which kind of brings me to the next topic, which is beer stuff. So I kind of alluded to this being an identity crisis, and it's a little hyperbolic, but my entire identity for the last 12 years has been beer. And I love the beer industry. I still love the beer industry. I love the people. I love all of it. But it was just my entire identity. Everything that I did was surrounded by beer. Honestly, this is one of the only shirts that I own that isn't a brewery shirt. My entire wardrobe is brewing related. So just everything about me has been beer, 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 beer. And then whenever I shut the brewery down, I kind of had this like distaste in my mouth for beer in general. Just like anything, if you like have, something negative happen, you kind of want to distance yourself from it. But I got really into, learning about business and trying to start something else that wasn't beer related. And so I kind of had this pushback against beer. I didn't want to really be involved in beer too much, but there still are a few things in my life that are beer centric. So a lot of my friends, all of my adult friends, are pretty much in the beer industry. Pretty much all of the people that I've met in the last 10 years have been somewhat tangential to beer. So that is still a huge part of my life. So I still go to breweries. I spend a ton of time at like all the breweries in Austin that have disc golf courses. So that's something that I'm super interested in. So I'm constantly at breweries still. So I'm not completely separated from it. And then another thing that's really interesting, like the tail end of Tanglefoot, outside of me drinking Tanglefoot beers exclusively, I just wanted something light and refreshing like a Modelo or whatever after work. And I am going through a hoppy renaissance, which is like the craziest thing. I haven't been interested in drinking IPAs in like 10 years, and I'm pretty stoked about it right now. So this is a classic Dale's Pale Ale. Obviously not like a super interesting thing to talk about, but it's interesting for me because I didn't expect to be going through another hoppy renaissance. But I'm really enjoying that. Outside of that, I still am doing brewery consulting. So like I said, I've been working with this company, Solon Consulting. I put a few videos up kind of referencing them. So if anybody out there is interested in consulting work, reach out to them. They're awesome dudes and can help. But I have been working on a specific project outside of Austin where I will actually be brewing for a certain amount of time to get them kind of off the ground and get their initial batches started. So I will technically still be brewing beer in the industry, but much less of a as like a forward-facing member of a brewery or anything like that. So that's kind of like the beer stuff I wanted to touch on. So there still will be some beer things in my life, and if anything beer related happens, I will share that and on the channel and stuff like that. Other things related to this channel and other social media stuff. So I mentioned like I kind of had this epiphany that I really want to do content. So I really want to focus on YouTube, but I also started another TikTok account. So if anybody is on TikTok and you're interested in following me, it's under my name. It's Andy Martinek. I have like 2 subscribers right now because I just started, but I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff on there that'll just be stupid, funny, or like topical to the other stuff I'm about to talk about in here. So outside of all that stuff, like a lot of major changes during this time of getting back into shape and fitness, I started tracking calories and like watching my protein intake, hitting my macros and things like that. And obviously this may be boring for some of the viewers out there, but I'm getting to a point. I'm going to take a sip of my beer because now my mouth's getting dry. But I've been constantly looking for business ideas to start. So I ended up finding a problem that I wanted to solve in my own life. So I started wanting to consume a certain amount of protein per day. And I was working in gas stations a lot of the time. So I was eating all of my lunches in gas stations. And if you haven't tracked your calories or tried to hit protein goals before, it can be pretty difficult unless you're subsidizing with like protein bars and protein shakes and things like that. And so I was eating, I was eating whatever, the turkey sandwich that they had there. And then I would eat protein bars and I'd take a protein shake in the morning, and all that stuff is great and amazing. But I found myself like getting tired of the protein bar, the super sweet cookie flavored protein bars. So I was always craving like just meat. So currently I have an idea for a business where I'm going to be making these chicken pouches, these chicken snacks, and I'm going to be making a whole video about this and kind of showing the process to hopefully start this brand and start producing these things. But that's kind of where I'm at from a business perspective right now, is I'm interested in pursuing this consumer packaged goods product that is a protein focused, basically just chicken breast in a shelf stable pouch. So I'll talk more about that later, but that's just kind of the update on the business idea that I've had and been working on, and done a bunch of trial batches and reaching out to manufacturers and stuff like that. So definitely have laid some groundwork, which is super cool, because I feel like I'm making progress. And then outside of that, Margo, I've totally invest in that. Great. We're signing up investors tomorrow, so I'll let you know. Not really, but yeah, if I ever take on investment, I'll hit everybody up. I'll be that annoying guy that's asking everybody for money. But outside of that, I just I really just want to be more present on social media and stuff. I think it's such a huge tool, and I kind of feel like I have a knack for it, and I really enjoy being on camera and producing videos and editing videos and all that stuff. So it's kind of the direction I'm going to be moving forward. I did a deep dive into my YouTube channel today just to kind of refresh myself on all the metrics and things like that. And it's really cool when you kind of zoom out and look over the last couple of years and see all the engagement and the views and stuff that I've had on the channel just from talking and interacting with people that are interested in hearing what I have to say. So more content to come. What else? Another thing that I'll be putting videos out about are other interests in my life. So I mentioned already, I'm super into disc golf. I've played disc golf since I was a kid in high school. But I got back into it a couple of years ago during COVID with some buddies. So I played disc golf pretty frequently. I also play regular ball golf pretty frequently. I love golf. It's just one of those things that is extremely frustrating, and I hate it every time I go to play. So naturally, I want to go do it over and over again, because I'm a masochist and I love the pain of not being able to get any better at something. And then the third one, and probably the most annoying one to talk about, is pickleball. So I've gotten into pickleball as well, and it is really addicting. I am generally just into any sport, any competitive activity, but pickleball has been like super addicting because it's so accessible. It's just like, if you have a paddle and a ball, you can go to a tennis court and play, and it's just like a really quick paced game. So that's another thing that I'm interested in. But yeah, this live was not, it wasn't super structured. I just kind of came on here to get used to talking to camera again and just putting my thoughts out there. But I got a lot of stuff going on. I've really done a lot of soul searching in the last few months, and can say that I feel much happier just having something to work on. Because I've been working and I've been doing jobs, and money's been coming in kind of sporadically, and that's fine to pay the bills and stuff. But I really haven't had like a bone to gnaw on, like a big challenge to go after. And between this content journey that I'm about to go on again, or the protein chicken concept thing that I'm working on, I feel like I have two real meaty things to gnaw on and go after. So pretty excited about that. It's shaping up to be an interesting year. So if anybody that is watching this now, or anybody that watches this on the replay, is either interested or not interested in this, either way, totally cool. You can unfollow or unsubscribe, or subscribe and enjoy the content to come. So if anybody also has any topics or things that you'd like me to cover, please feel free to reach out. I am somewhat interested in doing some homebrew content as well. I never considered doing that before, but in this kind of pursuit of exploring all the things that I really find interesting and I dive into and learn a lot about, beer is obviously one of those things, and I haven't homebrewed in a long time. So there probably will be a homebrew video in the not near future, but the future. So yeah, that's kind of the state of things right now. I'm just drinking a beer. It's 5:30 on a Friday night, and I'm gonna go out and eat some oysters and drink some beer with a friend. But that's pretty much it. I'm just happy to be doing some stuff, making moves. I hope things are going well in everybody else's life. Would love to hear life updates and goals and accomplishments and stuff if anybody sees this and feels like they want to share. Yeah, beer. Well, we got 5 people in here. If you want, you can join our homebrew team in the Fort Worth area in October. Yeah, that'd be interesting, man. Go back into homebrewing and making batches and doing competitions. So Nolan used to be a regular up at Tanglefoot, and yeah, he always had his brought in some homebrew to try, and his buddy would always bounce ideas off me and talk about homebrew and stuff. So they're super into it, and yeah, that's cool. I'd have to figure out my what my homebrew style would be if I were to get back into it, because I think I've mentioned this in a bunch of videos before, but I didn't homebrew a lot before I got into brewing beer professionally. I think I did maybe like 15, 20 batches. I had a couple of different homebrew kits, but got the bug and then started working at Blackstar. Oh yeah, that was, man, I didn't really cover it in any other videos, but the whole Blackstar closing thing was a big deal. Lots of emotions, lots of ups and downs there that maybe I'll talk about in a future video. Definitely not here today, but yeah, I posted that video. Their equipment's still for sale. So if anybody is interested in starting a brewery or wants to just take over the lease, it's a fully built out brewery in Austin, Texas. And it ain't cheap. The rent's like $13,000, I think, something like that. But it's a completely built out, fully functioning brewery with dope equipment. Maybe somebody will do it. I'd like something in my neighborhood, honestly. Even if it was just a burger joint, it'd be nice. Man, I forget how long it feels when you're just sitting here rambling to yourself. It's only been 17 minutes, but I think I covered all the topics that I wanted to cover. If anybody has any questions, not that, it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but feel free to shoot them at me. Trying to think if I left anything out, because I wrote down this list pretty quickly after getting back to the house, but yeah, I think I covered everything. Fitness, life after beer, beer stuff. Yeah, pretty much it. Just going to be filming content and living life. Excuse me. I burped. But yeah, if you're interested, I'm going to start another Instagram page as well. I didn't mention that. So I started a new TikTok account because whatever, the other Tanglefoot account didn't really have any subscribers or followers. So that wasn't a big deal. But I wanted to keep the Tanglefoot YouTube channel because it's already monetized and I already have, 23, almost 2,400 subscribers on here. And but the Instagram account is obviously very much people that like came to the brewery as patrons that were specifically only interested in the business side. So I'm going to announce that. I don't know when I'm going to start it, hopefully in the next day or two, but it'll most likely be under Andy Martinek. So I'll shout that out on the YouTube video if I get that up and or when I get that up. So if you're interested in seeing content on there, I'll be spreading the love around to all the platforms so that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't get on my ass and cut me off. Way to go, Andy. We're cheering for it. Thanks, Margot. Love you guys. We got to hang out soon, by the way. Margot and Matt are two good friends of mine that I met in the beer industry and are now just good friends that, they're just great people. And they own a bar out in Johnson City called Nice and Easy, which is awesome. If you're ever out there, go check it out. But we need to go get margs. We set up a plan to do a margarita tour like 8 years ago. We never did it. So we need to do that margarita tour. I've found a couple of other delicious options that we can add to the tour. So that'll be, I need to schedule that. I should use my phone and actually text people and tell them that we should do things. So that's all I got. I'm not going to ramble on anymore just because who cares, right? But this is part of doing social media. You gotta put it out there, even if you don't think it's interesting. So thank you for everybody who's been on the live. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support, no matter when it was or how much support it was. I always appreciate it and like hearing from people. So y'all take care. You have a good night too, Vince. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. I'll probably do these live streams regularly. So if you want to get on here and pretend to chat to me through the interwebs, then you can do that as well. Cheers, y'all. Have a good night. Stay classy.